Chodesh Tov Barach everybody, Baruch Hashem, also Hanukah Sameach. We are winding down Hanukah, reaching the climax of the 8th day. But before that, we have to use the final days that we have left. If we have used it or abused it, we could still make it up. And what better day to start now if he hasn't used these fantastic days to reach the Avodat Hashem than Rosh Chodesh Tevet. This Shiur B'ezrat Hashem is going to be dedicated also for the Leilui Nishmat of Yaakov David ben Miriam and also Moulouk Tovah ben Rahel and Agajan ben Mabai. The Ben Ish Chai brings down, we'll start with this, that on Rosh Chodesh Tevet we write a candle. If you could also light it in Shemen Zayit, olive oil, for none other than Rameir Balanes. Now I know this name, along with the other Tana Kadosh, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, these are the most famous Tanaim that pretty much everybody has heard of. Also Rabbi Akiva. But these two, what did Rameir Balanes was Zocheh that everybody is talking about him? Every candle that's lit, even though it's not just your side, throughout the year. This I heard from my friend yesterday, Shlomo Khalili, and it goes along about what Hanukah is all about. Who was Rameir Balanes? Why are we lighting a candle for him? And all the time we say, "An Eliyahu de Meir Aneni." Why was he Zocheh that his name is always mentioned? How come we don't say Eliyahu de Rabbi Akiva Aneni, Eliyahu de Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Aneni? Who is Rameir Balanes? What kind of life did he have? So let's go past in the history and look at this personality a little bit. Rameir Balanes, we know that he went through a very hard time, hard life, and he never complained. He was the son of Geri. His grandfather, who was the Caesar of Rome, had converted. We won't go into the reasons how it was, but he converted, and he was at the time where the Jewish people did not like the Romans. It was a time of persecution. So here comes a convert from Roman background. He's not so accepted, let's say, as a kid in the Talmud Torah. Also, when he grows up, he's not so accepted. You know, where are you coming from? You're just a generation ago. But Baruch Hashem, Rameir Balanes did not let this confuse him. He went to Talmud Torah, he learned Torah, and he became a genius, so much so, when Rabbi Yehuda and Nasi wrote the Mishnayot, most Mishnayot are written according to the language of Rameir Balanes. But moving on with his life, we know that unfortunately his two sons passed away, and he also had a daughter, Baruch Hashem, his daughter married the Talmid Chacham, so his name continues through that. But his two sons passed away, and his wife passed away also. The kid's story, if you look at his life, you would say this is a guy who was supposed to throw in the towel a long time ago. Maybe he should have gone back to being a non-Jew. Because I personally know a few converts who came in and they couldn't handle it and they went out. The only thing they don't know that once you're in, you could never leave. So if you're going back to your old ways, you have to understand that the punishment is going to be a punishment of a Jewish soul, and not a Goy soul. But we'll put that on the side. Rabbi Meir Balanes, he's the poster child that we look at, that's somebody who went through a hard time. He's the one who went against all odds. And he's the one that the Ben Ish Chai and also other Rishonim, he's an Achrom, but other Rishonim say that you have to light a candle for him. Why Dafka Rosh Chodesh Tevet? I don't know if he was born this day, or if he passed away this way, this day. But on Hanukah, we light candles. And the more Meir means to give light. So it could be that Rameir Balanes, who went through such a hard life, is an example of what the Hashmonai went through. What the Jewish people went through against the Greeks, when everybody was going against the Jewish Torah. Everybody's saying, let's throw in the towel, let's go to the stadiums. Let's go to the Greek theater. Let's go to the Beit HaMikdash and have a nice Olympic sports event. Yes, a lot of Jews had taken a left turn. But Rameir Balanes was after the destruction of the temple. And he had every single reason to go back because he was not so liked by the Jewish people, but he didn't give up. He stayed Jewish and he went all the way to the top. So much so that every Mishnah that we have today is Stam Mishnah Rameh Balanes. And every candle that we light, you say Eliyahu Demir Aneni. The famous story in the Gemara, why Eliyahu Demir Aneni. We won't go through that either right now. But Rameh Balanes, because he went through so much and he stayed true to Jewish values and he held on to his guns, so we also follow his example. Because when we mention his name, it rises in the Shamayim, big Sanagori and Am Yisrael. You're mentioning Rameir's name, the person who was supposed to go off the derech, the person who was supposed to become a Greek and a Roman, because everybody hated him, but he didn't. If you're mentioning this person that I love so much, I'm going to answer you for his sake. So if you haven't lit that candle, you still have a chance today on Rosh Chodesh Tevet to light the candle, say a parak of Tehillim for him, and pray to Hashem that b'zchuta of Rameir Balanes that he should answer your prayers. It's Rosh Chodesh, it's Hanukah, and Zchuta of Rameir Balanes all combined. V'chuta meshulash lo b'marat tiratek. And when you buy the candle over there, pray to Hashem and he'll answer your prayers. And don't forget to say Eliyahu Demir Aneni, the God of Meir, please answer me. Okay, I haven't talked about Rameir, how he went out against the Greeks. This is what the Chanukah is all about. We're going to look through the eyes of the Parsha, going back to Yosef again, and how he also was hated and he was thrown away. And against all odds, he stayed Jewish. Not only he stayed Jewish, he married Jewish. And he followed the whole Torah. And not only that, he became the emperor of the known world back then. And although he had every temptation to become a non-Jew, to become a Greek, he stayed true to Yaakov Avinu's Torah. Let's see how. How did he do it? We talked about this a little bit last week, how he did it, how he always remembered his father's teachings, and he always had his father's picture in front of him. That's what saved him. But now comes Yaakov Avinu. He really wants to see if this boy that he loves so much, is he really sticking to his guns? What they're telling him that Yosef is alive, is he alive physically, but he's dead spiritually? He's alive physically, but is a Greek in Neshama? For a father like Yaakov Avinu, who they come after 22 years and say that your son is alive, that doesn't mean anything. Physically, biologically, Baruch Hashem. But what does that help me if he's not going according to the Torah? What does it help me if he's a Greek? In fact, it's going to not help me. After 120 years, when this father goes to heaven, they're going to open his file every single year and say, let's see what your son's doing. Is he learning Torah because you put him to Talmud Torah? Not to go in the way of the Greeks? Or no? You put him in public school. So now, he's married to Christine, and you have a lot of Chris Cohens walking around, or not Jewish. You ended up your genealogy and threw it into Gehenna, and for that, you're going to get punished every single year. That's what Yaakov Avinu wants to know. Is he going to go to Gehenna, and they're going to bring Yosef's image in front of him all the time and say, what happened? This is with your son? Or they're going to bring his image and say, wow, look at your son. Not only he's the president of the whole entire world, but he's an Orthodox president. He likes the candles, not next to the tree. He likes the candles the Jewish way. That's Yosef. Baruch Hashem. That's why he says, Vayomer Yisrael, Rav od Yosef Chai. Baruch Hashem, that Yosef is Chai. Chai means that he's not only physically alive, he's spiritually alive. As for a father, when a son or a daughter takes a left turn and goes off the derech, it's worse than the final war of Armageddon, of Gog and Magog. It's worse than the Holocaust. The person, he has put in so much and he takes a left turn, Hashem Yishmor. But if the father and the mother, they're the one to be blamed because they wanted to put him in public school, oh my gosh, then they're going to be paying hell in this world and the world to come. Like the following story is going to demonstrate. A few years ago, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, this story goes back 25 years ago. He was invited to a rich person's house in New York. And the person was Mesurati, traditional. He wasn't anti-God. He wasn't anti-Torah. But, he couldn't control his desires. So, he wouldn't eat kosher. He wouldn't keep Shabbat. But he respected rabbis enough to come and have him to come give his speech in his house. So Rabbi Mizrahi came. And they're talking in his mansion before the speech. 500 people are going to be there. And he's saying, by the way, I saw your son, Baruch Hashem. Which Talmud Torah are you sending him to? He says, Rabbi, come on. Talmud Torah. He's only in 4th grade. He goes to public school. It's okay. He comes home, we tell him we're Jewish, we say, Borei Me'oreh Ha'esh, and then we turn on the TV, and we're traditional. Like the Greeks. The Beit HaMikdash was there, but it's a cultural thing. But we have our fun also. Rabbi, don't be a fanatic. From Mizrahi, he sees that he can't, the father is getting angry. He told him what his opinion was. And he gave a speech, and he left. He tried to convince him, but he didn't go. My friends, 15 years later, Rabbi Mizrahi, he lost contact with him. 15 years later, he was shopping in a supermarket in New York. And who does he see in the aisle across him? Someone familiar. He sees this guy. And the guy also sees him. And he comes to say hello to him. How you doing? It's been a long time. The person says hello and he bursts out crying like a little kid. Talk about a 50-year-old person. What's going on? What happened? Why are you crying? After crying for about 5 minutes in front of everybody, the supermarket, people are walking, seeing this guy's crying like a little child. It's like, Rabbi Mizrahi, how much millions of money that I would give to go back to that day. When he gave me that advice to put my son in Talmud Torah, and I refused. I refused! I thought it was going to be okay. He ended up going from one grade to another grade in public school, becoming a drug addict, going out with Christine, and the police are always coming to my door, and the mafia saying that your son owes us hundreds of thousands of dollars for drugs. I already sold everything for this boy. My mansion, my cars. I'm afraid to go home. Why didn't I listen to you? 15 years ago. My friends, this is a story that could happen to anybody. Today, you think, what's the big problem? Public school, not so bad. But unfortunately today, even the non-traditional, even the most secular will tell you how bad it is. I don't have to explain in this holy place why they're teaching the little kids over there things that they should be, which they're not. That's enough said. Why do I have to get phone calls from America asking me to try to get their kids into Orthodox schools? What happened? What are we doing till now? Of course, I'm trying to help them. Okay, are you going to keep Shabbat? No. Are you going to keep kosher? No. So why do you think this Orthodox school is going to accept you? Because I don't want my son to think that he is a girl. Okay, so change your ways. Stop being a Greek. You don't want your son to end up like this boy? Then start being a Jew. Start being a Yosef. Rosh Chodesh Tevet. Hanukah. This is the time to begin. If you have made mistakes already, it's not too late. Maybe you could turn the wheels. The prayers by the candles. The father candling the lights of Hanukkah. And the mother on Shabbat. Before Shabbat, lighting the candles of Shabbat. With tears coming down. Hashem is going to accept those tears. He's going to put it in the heart of the boy and the girl to come back. But it starts with you. You can't keep living like a Greek and send your kids to Orthodox schools thinking that everything's going to be okay. Because your kids are going to follow you. You're the role model. Yes, it's a responsibility to be a parent. Who gave you that license to be a parent? But if you're already a parent already, you have to live up to that obligation. Start today to put your kids into Talmudei Torah. Put your daughters into Beis Yaakov. And you yourself change. Because you can be a Jew at home and Christian outside like Moses Mendelssohn wanted you to be. That's not us. This is what Hanukkah is all about. In the end, the Hashmonaim, there were few, but they won the war. But millions of Jews went lost. The silent Holocaust is continuing. We're supposed to be 25 million Jews since 1990. Where are all the Jews? They're becoming Greeks! Why? Because we're not waking up. If you're seeing this video right now, it's time to wake up. Start with yourself. And then your kids will follow. And that's why Yehuda cries to Yosef when they have their meeting together. This is the famous words. Ech e'eleh la'avi va'anar eineno iti. How could I go back to my father Yaakov and I promised him I'm going to bring back Yosef and Binyamin is not with me? That's the pshat. But he's saying even more than that. He's saying after 120 years, how could I go upstairs when I wasted my childhood years, the best years of my life, living like a Greek? Or even more, after I became a parent, how did I send my kids to public school? How could I go and face Hashem and say, Nahanar eineno iti? Baruch Hashem, we're still here. You can still make it up. You don't have to face that embarrassment after 120. But it starts today. Rosh Chodesh Tevet. Chanukah. And that's why Yosef says, after all the back and forth, Ani Yosef, Ha'od, Avi, Chai. I'm Yosef. Is my father still alive? That's the pshat. But in the Musar, deeper ethical meaning of the words are, Chazal tell us, if the brothers could not answer Yosef, and they were besides themselves, when he said, Ani Yosef, what are we supposed to say after 120 when Hashem says, Ani Hashem? 2 words! All your questions are going to be gone. 2 words. But Baruch Hashem, we're still here. You don't have to wait for that moment when Hashem says, Ani Hashem. Where's your childhood? Where are your kids? Where are your grandkids? Where's your wife? Are you living a Torah way of life or are you a Greek? Ani Yosef. Ha'od Avi Chai. Avi is my father in heaven. Is he Chai inside of my heart? Ha'od Yosef Chai? Are you alive? Or you're a dead man walking? You're a zombie. There are a lot of people walking around looking they're alive, but they're dead. Spiritually dead. That's not the Jewish people. When we say Am Yisrael Chai, the past year, everybody wants to say, everybody's screaming, Am Yisrael Chai, Chai, Chai. That's beautiful. But are you really Chai? Look at the mirror when you woke up in the morning. You have earrings? Are you dressed like a Jew or like a Greek? Am Yisrael Chai doesn't mean that you're a Jew and you're alive, but you don't follow the Torah. Am Yisrael Chai means that you're a Jew and you're going according to the Torah, and you light the candles of Hanukah in a Jewish home and not next to a tree. Am Yochai carries with it a lot of obligations. Don't just say the words. Live it. Yosef lived it. Yaakov lived it. Yehuda lived it. We're called Yehudim. Maccabim. Chashmonaim. These are our heroes. What are we celebrating today? If you're not going with the Torah, what are you lighting that candle for? And then you're going to that Christmas party? New Year's party tonight? You just can't wait to count those seconds. 3, 2, 1, boom! Drink till the morning, and then wake up, you don't know where you are. Same Greek person in Hanukah? Or are you going to start changing your way today? You're not going to go to that party tonight. You're going to light that candle and start shedding tears about your past, so you'll have a better, happier future for yourself and your kids. It's your decision. It's not too late. Rosh Chodesh is the beginning of the month. It's a new beginning. It's a new chapter. Don't waste tonight going to that New Year party. Don't continue to be another year of Greek. Don't let your friends fool you. Let your Jewish Neshama, who's screaming inside, come out. When you wake up tomorrow in the morning, wake up with a smile that you didn't go to that party. Wake up with a smile that it's a new you. Wake up with a smile that you're going to put your kid now in Talmud Torah. And you're going to carry the torch of the Chashmonaim. And you're going to say, it's enough. I'm going to live like a Jew now. I'm not going to wait to 120 when Hashem is going to look at me and say, I need Hashem. You have any more questions? Because I have all the answers. The answers are here right now. Hashem already gave us the Torah. You don't have to go to China, to the Far East, or to all these garbage parties to find out who you are. The Jewish people are thousands of years old. We are the sons of Rahamim and Yaakov. You know who we are. Go ask your Orthodox rabbi. Stop going around to these people who are going to just make you more confused. Stop going on this stupid phone and trying to ask. I don't get it. All these controversial or conspiracy theories that's going to make you more confused. Use your time already. The time is the biggest gem that a Jewish person has. Non-Jews want to kill time. For us, killing time is the most tragedy of all. Let's start today. Rosh Chodesh Tevet. We have a couple more days left. On the 8th day of Hanukah on Thursday, you have a chance to look in the mirror in the morning and see a new you. It's your decision. Choose wisely. Thank you.